Welcome to Episode 3 of the Sweet Nature Cruisecast. Hi, I'm Linz. As always, I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello. And today we're talking why we prefer cruise holidays to land-based holidays. And now some mood music. I can't let you pick the music.
See, that's what happened when you leave me alone to pick music.
The brief was adventure.
Yeah, but everything adventure sounded like Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, nah, I kind of like it. Da, da, da.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, welcome to Episode 3.
Oh.
Today we're, as you said, during the intro, before that lovely da, da, da music.
Will you please stop doing that?
Da, da, da.
Oh, no. Have you Sambuca? Oh, no, it's not
Ouzo.
Sambuca. It's Ouzo, because we're off to
Athens.
Athens very soon.
That's quite strong.
Wowzers.
That seemed like a much better idea about 10 minutes ago.
What were we thinking?
Wowzer. That's a bit heavy for... What day is it we're recording this? Monday night?
Monday night.
That seems very heavy.
Oh,
Anyway, back to where we were. As usual, we've got a topic of the episode.
Oh, we're so professional.
We are. And we've also got some news, which you, as usual, don't know what it is. I'm just springing that on you. And
Thank
we'll
you.
have a chat and our thoughts on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But first off, topic of this particular one
Yes.
is...
Why we prefer cruises to land-based holidays.
And we do get asked that quite a lot. Would we ever go on a normal in quotation
There's
marks?
no normal. Normal does not exist.
Vacation, would we go on a holiday?
Like a beach holiday.
Yeah. And the reality is, we've been on them.
We have been on them. I'm not a sun bunny.
No, you've never been one to want to lie on the beach and sort of absorb the rays. Your skin's not designed for...
Oh, we're going down that rabbit hole. No.
No, you're definitely not designed for lying on a beach.
No.
You like lying by a pool with a cocktail, but generally
Under an umbrella, like a brolly,
Yeah.
a parasol. I mean, I've even fashioned my own, cover-up. Do you remember when we were in Australia? And I had
I do remember. I'd completely
a
forgot about
beach
that.
cover-up, and I dipped it in the pool. And
That was when we went to the sort of water park, funfair place near Perth, wasn't it?
Yep.
I'd completely forgot about
And
that.
then I created my own tent, which I then sounder. But I'm not a
It
sun
was
bunny.
quite warm, though.
So I'm not. So we've established I'm not a sunbather.
But there are lots more land-based holidays than just
yeah.
the beach.
There is, yeah.
And yeah, if we go back to sort of our very first cruise, and we'll talk about that on a future episode where we'll get into it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up going on that cruise because we were meeting family.
Yeah.
When they were Walt Disney World in Orlando.
Yeah, because we did that. We had perpetual Christmas.
Yeah, we kept going back at sort of Christmas for quite a few years, didn't we? So
oh, yes.
As far as we were concerned, poinsettias were the national flower of
Florida.
That's all we ever saw, wasn't it?
Poinsettias, trees. Yeah.
But what is it that you prefer as a cruise holiday compared to a land one?
I like unpacking once. I like the different destinations. I like that I can go for an afternoon nap with aircon.
But you can do that on land-based as well.
Yes, but I like it because in the middle of the day, if we were in Disney World, and anyone who's been to a theme park, when you've had lunch and it gets really warm and really busy, you just want to decompress and take yourself out of it. And that's what I like about a cruise holiday.
You can do that.
You can take some time and then get back into whether it's trivia or a show or whatever activity, pool, but you can take some time for yourself, and I like that.
Yeah, I definitely think a cruise holiday is one that lets you take yourself out of it easier and then get back into it. That Ouzo's so strong, isn't it?
Why? Why did we think...
You picked it, not me.
But it's theme. We're going away.
It is theme. But I've kind of lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
There. It's all right. It's the thought of the Ouzo and Athens that it just didn't gel. And it's all that I've got to drink in front of me. So for the next 30 minutes,
about?
we were talking about land-based cruises.
Yes.
But we were talking
land-based cruises.
Yeah. That you can take yourself out of it a lot easier on a cruise and then come back into it. Maybe easier than land, but I'm not 100% because if you look at sort of your
resort
all-inclusive resort holidays,
which we've also done.
Yeah. Those ones I feel that you can sort of take yourself out just as easy.
Oh, I don't know. There's just something about that you're moving, but you're staying still. It's very profound, isn't it?
I have to. That's very profound for a Monday night. I have to say one of my favourite things personally about, and you touched on it. Stop drinking the Ouzo. Then you're sitting there sipping it and then pulling a face. One of my favourite things about a cruise holiday is the fact that you can wake up in a different destination every day. Now, granted, if you're doing transatlantic, it's just a different part of the sea. But I'm making a general point that you can do land tours, but they always, to me personally, seem a lot more work. I don't have to do any work to get to the next port.
Not to the place, no.
Whereas, if you're doing a land tour, you got to get on a bus, you got to get on a car, you got to get on a plane or a train. You got to get on something to get you there. Now, no, the journey is part of the destination, or something deep and meaningful like that. But it's that sort of. There's just something so unique about waking up, pulling open the curtains, and seeing a new destination that wasn't there the night before, sitting out on the balcony as you cruise into somewhere.
I know what you're saying.
But, for me, that is definitely one of the big things. Another one that's, we are doing a future podcast on this because it was suggested to us as well, is when it comes to sort of value for money. You got itchy nose because that Ouzo now.
I've got...
When it comes to value for money, if you look at a cruise compared to a land-based, on a like-for-like, when you've added all your food in, when you have your drinks in, your entertainment, etc., cruising, generally, even though it's a lot more expensive than it used to be, is still much better value for money on a like-for-like basis.
It depends what you like for liking.
Well, like entertainment, food, drinks. You mentioned Disney a couple of times earlier, so let's take that as an example. It's pretty much impossible for two people to go for a meal in Disney and it not cost at least $100.
We've joked about it.
We have. And I mean, you can go for breakfast, you can go for lunch, you can go for dinner at Disney, minimum $100. Now, of course, you can go get a hot dog, you can go get an ice cream, you can go get a snack, but I'm on about a sit-down meal. Whereas on a cruise ship, if you want a 3-course meal 3 times a day or more, then you can do that. So if you just look at that from a value perspective, then over the course of a week, that's $2,100 that you would spend on food in Disney on a like-for-like if you had those 3 meals.
We've joked about it, but I know what you're saying. I also feel that there's a very similar mindset on the cruise ship as well.
What, between passengers?
Yeah, by passengers, and everybody's just having a lovely time.
Yeah, I mean, it depends as to the cruise ship that you're on,
I guess,
in terms of what that mindset is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on sort of a more party-ish type cruise like a Carnival or Caribbean, Virgin, that's going to be more upbeat. If you're on something like Holland America or Cunard, it's going to be a bit classier, maybe a bit more music focused. If you're on something like Hurtigruten or something, it's going to be more expedition.
Yeah.
So I think the people that are on there, because it's like-minded, tends to be they're going on those cruise ships because that's what they're looking for.
Yeah,
on
I
a cruise.
guess. Yeah.
The exception being that if it's your first cruise,
you don't
then
know.
you might not know that.
No.
Granted, you might watch lots of YouTube videos or listen to other podcasts, but until you've actually been on them, you don't know whether it's going to be properly for you.
Yeah, I guess. But we never say never, so it's not like we'll never go on do a land-based holiday. Because we will.
I mean, we were genuinely talking about it last night, weren't we?
When I was looking at, so when we go to Alaska, I'd costed what it'd be to bundle it with their land-based tour as well.
Yeah.
And it was doubling the cost of...
But not for double the duration.
Not for double oh my goodness, that Ouzo. Not for double the duration. But when we watch the videos and things, because of course we research everything like you do about when we're booking something, we didn't feel when we watched the videos and we watched the lodge tours and things that it felt that
it didn't seem as good.
We could have got another cruise out of Southampton.
That's kind of what we then said. It's like,
yeah.
Well, do we want to stay in, not an equivalent from, I'm trying to be diplomatic, not an equivalent sort of level of comfort.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You would get in there,
yes,
to what we were going to get on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Or take that money and go on another cruise.
Yeah.
And it would cost exactly the same, but would get longer.
Yeah.
And more comfort.
Yeah.
And that again comes back to, would we ever do a land-based holiday compared to just a cruise? Well, yeah, absolutely. I really do want to go back to Disney World again.
Yes, I know you do.
What, 5 years since we've been there?
It's a while, yeah.
They've opened a load of new attractions. Universal Studios has got its new park opening next year, I think.
I think it might.
Epic Universe. So there's a lot of stuff like that I want to do. I really would like to do a really relaxing, all-inclusive resort. But not one where you have to lie on a beach.
No, I mean...
Not the Maldives. That's not your idea of fun, is it?
I mean, no, people say, they'd love to go to the Maldives. And
you don't like to go swimming in the sea, and you don't like lying on the beach for a long period of time.
And I don't like sand.
So really, a beach holiday is not your ideal destination. Is that what we're saying?
I'm going to lose a lot of friends here, I feel. I'm not... No, I'm just...
You're not a beach bunny, are you?
I'm not a beach bunny. So
if we were going to do a land-based one today, so it's not a theme park.
Okay.
And it's not one that we've done before.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not going to be a beach holiday.
No.
What would be the one that you feel would convince you to do that over a cruise, and why?
A river cruise?
No, well, is a river cruise... That don't count as a land cruise. That's cheating. So, what would be the land holiday that would persuade you to do that over a cruise?
No theme parks or anything.
There's not a theme park, so it's not one we've been to before. You could say Disneyland Tokyo. I would allow that.
Well, no, I don't want to say Disneyland Tokyo because that's cheating. Oh, I'd like to go to Peru. Oh!
Oh, allowed.
That's another drink.
Is that what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your warning that you've not had a drink?
Yeah.
How about
Peru?
Machu
Picchu.
Would you go on the train?
Oh, yes, the Belmont. And drink Cusco.
Drink what? Drink Ouzo.
Cusco? Somebody will tell me. Please tell me. Sours. And you go on a fancy train.
So is the Belmont like Orient Express type?
Yes.
Peru?
Yes.
I think I've watched a video now.
I have watched quite a few videos.
Okay. So that would be the one that would persuade you
to go to Peru
for the land-based holiday. So you'd end up wanting to do something we just talked about there, which is a land tour. You're not going to a destination. You're going to a country and then travelling the country.
But the way I'd like to get there is, and I think Holland America do this, is they start in Florida and they go through the Panama Canal and then down to Peru. That's how I'd like to get there. So I know we have to fly to Florida.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'd then do a land tour.
So are you cheating there? Do you want to know what mine is, then?
Go on.
See, I think you're thinking I'm going to say Japan.
No, I'm not going to think you're going to say Japan. I think you're going to say somewhere like Vietnam or Singapore.
No, a bit of Singapore. I do love Singapore. That I would go to Singapore tomorrow. Albeit that would then throw out our planned excursion this week, so we can't go to Singapore tomorrow. Forget that. I would really like to do a US road trip.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to start off up somewhere near Seattle, drive down to San Diego, so coming straight down there.
That's a long way.
And not in one day. I'm not planning on doing this overnight. There'll be stops at like San Francisco, Napa Valley, go get some wine. Then go explore sort of Los Angeles area, go down to San Diego, can say hi to Bob and Holly.
I could say hi to Bob and Holly.
And
Hello,
then,
Bob and Holly.
and then drive across.
Oh, this is too long.
We didn't say there were restrictions to this. Over to the other side and sort of end up in New York. Go up via Chicago.
No, that's about 3 holidays, that is.
But it'd be a good holiday. I would like that one. That would persuade me not to do a cruise. So
I always fancied doing the LA to Las Vegas, where you drive to Las Vegas as it's getting to sunset, and you can see the strip. Lights.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
I'd like that. And I see where you're coming from. I would not have fun on that holiday.
What, my road trip?
It's too long.
What about the wine?
I'd like to stay somewhere really nice and do it, and probably have a private jet.
Yeah, let's just book a cruise. That cruise seems like a much safer bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going back to the question of why a cruise over a land-based holiday.
It's the only one we can agree on.
Yeah.
It's not Disney World.
Yeah. It ticks pretty much every box. Yeah, we know that we're going to get some great food. We know we're going to get plenty of good cocktails. We know we're going to see some great entertainment.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to get a lot of time to relax as well.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, just being able to sort of chill out. When we did Apex not long ago, we did Transatlantic, there were quite a few days where we were getting up into, when it were sea days, the actual Transatlantic bit, we were getting up into the solarium pool, and I'm not exaggerating this, you'll back me up, for 6 a.m.
Yep.
And we'd leave there about 4 p.m. And we would have done practically nothing all day. Apart from maybe have a little swim.
Have a swim in a hot tub.
Yeah, have a little bite to eat.
Have a read,
listen to a book. Audio book. Not listening to you read a book. No, you could read a book. I'd let you.
You don't have to explain.
No, and then just chilling out. And it's such a nice way to spend your time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel that there's that pressure to go do anything.
No, we enjoy that. I like that.
Yeah. And so for me, one, we agree on that we both want to do it, which is a big plus. And two, we get to have that balance of sort of full steam ahead, no pun intended, and being able to relax as well. And there's not that many other holidays that we've managed to find so far. I'm sure there are plenty.
There is.
There's just not many that we've had.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comments what are your favourite land holidays if you're not on a cruise, and what would persuade you to not go on a cruise and do a land one instead, or vice versa.
Yes.
Anyway, let's go on to some news.
Oh no.
So we've got 3 news stories as usual. One of them's in 2 parts. You keep drinking the Ouzo. I'll have a little drink just to sort of balance it out.
I'm preparing myself for your news after your tune.
Why would my news and my tune be related?
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so the first bit of news that we just want to have a talk about is the Royal Caribbean for 2024 and 2025 is one of the official sponsors of Eurovision.
I like this.
You like the way this is
going,
don't
you? I
do
do like this.
And it's decided this year, they haven't announced anything for 25 yet, so it's only 2024.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because they're sponsoring it in 24 and 25, they probably are going to do something in 25 if they're popular.
Yeah.
That it's doing 4 dedicated Eurovision cruises.
I knew this.
I know. That's what we were talking about. And they are going on Anthem of the Seas, which is just doing 2 nights.
Yes.
Out of Southampton.
Yeah.
On Eurovision night, which I think is a great one.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
Explore of the Seas, which is doing 7 nights from the 11th of May out of Barcelona.
Okay.
Then we've got 2 of the newer ships.
Yeah.
Well, a newer ship. Odyssey of the Seas.
Yeah.
That's doing 12 nights from the 5th of May.
Wow.
From Rome. And then Oasis,
they'll be
one of my favourite ever ships, is doing 7 nights on the 5th of May out of Barcelona again. Amazing. So you've got 2 of them going out of Barcelona, 1 going out of Rome, and 1 going out of Southampton.
Yes.
So it's within Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense that that's where they are. But on the cruise, it's not like a normal themed cruise where that's all that's going on. They're having viewing parties on the Eurovision final night. And I would guess if you're on some of the longer ones, such as Odyssey and Oasis, they'll probably have the semi-finals on there as well, because they're in the week running up to that.
I love them.
They're often more entertaining. You get some of the ones that don't get through at the final for very obvious reasons. So they're having the viewing parties, but they're also having themed cocktails that they're making just for those cruises that are custom made. Karaoke.
Oh, no.
Quizzes.
Oh, I like that.
But all the karaoke will be Eurovision songs.
I love that.
What would be, granted, we only do karaoke generally in a private cubicle where very few people can hear us, such as on Virgin.
Yes.
But if you had to pick a Eurovision karaoke song, what would you pick?
Save All Your Kisses for Me.
I was going to say that.
Oh, you see, that's why we're together.
It is. I'm not going to do it on it. I nearly went into it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I think it's such a great idea. We've talked about sort of doing a themed cruise for a while. You know, we've looked at the Star Trek. We've looked at 80s ones and sort of and 90s music ones that the likes of Morella do. And I'm becoming increasingly tempted to book one of these.
Should we do it?
The Star Trek one, we both said will just be so fun. My only concern with doing that is we are both big Star Trek and Star Wars fans, but I don't know if we're that big. And not to say that it's not that we don't enjoy it. The level of sort of knowledge that people have on them, I definitely wouldn't enter a quiz.
Oh, goodness, no.
But it's the costumes that they make at home.
And the balls.
I ain't got the talent to do that.
No, I was looking at the masquerade ball pictures because when we were cancelled on Sun Princess, we looked to see what cruises were going
Star
out.
Trek were going out. We could have still got on it.
It was, but it was $3,300 per person.
But that was literally like a couple of weeks before we were due to go out.
Yeah.
So it was very last minute on that. But then it had cost us another £1,000 each to get a costume because we're not talented enough to make them ourselves. Yeah. But I do really like the idea of doing one of these themed cruises.
The little Eurovision one.
The Eurovision one.
I'd only have to book a day off work. For the little 2-nighter.
For the 2-nighter, yeah. But it'd be very, very tempting.
I think we should cost it after this.
Which, after this episode. These episodes are dangerous. The lead into cruising. But anyway, I thought they were really interesting. Yeah. I do hope that it's successful. I imagine the 2-night Anthem of the Seas one will be a riot.
Yeah.
Because that is just for Eurovision night. People getting on it, having a laugh, getting back off.
No, I think it's 2 nights. I think it's a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, it's the 2 nights for Eurovision.
Yeah.
It's not that you're on it for a longer period.
No,
so
I know.
It will be just a Eurovision party.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I hope it's successful so that they're doing 25 as well. It just seems like such a good fix. It's pulling together everyone from all those countries, which is what you get on cruise lines anyway.
Yeah.
And it's music, which is heavily featured on every single cruise line. And it's about having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Perfect fit. Well done, Royal Caribbean. Be really interested to see what that's like. Next up, Ambassador. They have announced a partnership with Help for Heroes,
Okay.
which is a UK Armed Forces and Veterans charity.
Yes.
And they're looking to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also going to be running events, getting people on there to do talks, and running competitions.
Okay.
And I thought that were, rather than just saying this is our charity of choice,
To get so involved.
to bring it in.
Yeah.
And help people to understand, why they're raising money and have people tell the stories.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, definitely. And it's relevant.
Yeah. And I'm fairly surprised that I've not come across, and there may well be, one of the US ones, maybe Carnival or Royal, that have done that in the past, but it's not one that I'm familiar with. You still pulling that face at that Ouzo.
I like that idea.
The thing is, before we came on air on this, Lindsay said to me, bring the full bottle through, I might want to top up. For people who are watching on video, there is now a bottle. Were you trying to make a bottle sound with it? Yeah, you can put it back down now. Are you having another glass?
No.
But I am fairly surprised that that's the first time that I've come across it where they're doing sort of enrichment talks and stuff with it. So, well done. But that brings me to the second part of the news story for Ambassador. So one of my 2 parts, and it's Ambassador, who are doing 2 specific D-Day cruises.
Oh, I saw this. I thought you were going to tell me about the Greatest Hits cruise that's happening in October.
Well, that won't be as connected to that first story.
I guess it wouldn't, no.
We can come on to the Greatest Hits after
it's
this.
okay. I feel a bit stupid now.
So what they're doing this year is the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy.
Yeah.
So they're doing 2 cruises, one on Ambition and one on Ambience. They're 2 ships at the moment.
Yeah.
One going out of Tilbury in London, the other one going out of Bristol.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the day. I think one was doing 6 days and one 12 or 13 days. I forget the thing. But they're doing what they're doing with the Heroes one, but also, I guess, like we are with the Eurovision, a series of themed events and things on board. They are trying to encourage people who were there. Obviously, with each passing year, there's fewer people who were it's 80 years ago.
Yes.
To come on there. But one of the bits that I thought were really nice that they're doing is that they're anchoring off the 5 beaches.
Wow. Okay. That'd be very poignant.
And running ceremonies and stuff like that. I just thought it were just a really nice sort of
tribute
to it. And again, I hope it's very popular. It's not that they can do that every year.
No, I know what you're saying.
80th anniversary. And just to go back to your other one, they are also doing a Greatest Hits radio, which is a radio station in the UK where it's a lot of former Radio 2 DJs.
Well, Radio 1 originally.
Radio 1 DJs who became Radio 2, which is the national radio in the UK. And then on the Greatest Hits, which are a really popular radio station.
I'm still convinced I know what the Morning Oldie Mystery song is. Old Morning,
The Morning Mystery song.
Yeah, I'm convinced I know what it is. And it ain't gone yet.
Do you want to say what it is? What you think it is now?
I'm going to look so silly.
Well, say what you think it is. So at the time that we're recording this, it's the 11th?
Yes.
11th of March. And you think the song is?
I think it's Mid-Year, If I Was. Okay. I think that's what the song is.
So we'll be able to look back in the future.
I'm so wrong.
And see if you were right. And it'll turn out it was Frankie Goes to
No, it's not. No, it wasn't. It's not that.
So I've not heard it, so
You're so wrong.
I can't play this game. But yeah, again, more themed cruises that cruise lines are doing. So they're obviously popular.
There's a theme.
Then the final story, less of a theme, more of people moaning.
No.
Yeah, it's true. So Silver Nova, which is Silver Sea's newest ship,
which we were so not getting on.
No, we weren't due to be going on that anyway. Has been delayed coming back in to I think it's Miami.
Oh, because of the photo shoot.
Yeah, because Royal Caribbean Group is pulling all 3 of their newest ships, Icon of the Seas.
And I think that's appropriate.
No, I didn't say it was an inappropriate moan. The Icon of the Seas, Celebrity Ascent, and Silver Nova.
We're going to have a picture.
They're pulling them all close together, so they're really close. They're going to get some drones flying and take some footage, which will look fantastic. Now, Celebrity Ascent and Icon of the Seas were actually due to sail really near each other anyway. Silver Nova wasn't.
Oh.
So they're having Silver Nova divert to, it's the close, relatively speaking, the close. They're within like a couple of 100 miles.
Yeah.
So they're having to divert. They were due to come back in for 7 a.m.
I know this.
They're now not getting in until 11.
I thought it was even 12.
No, it's 11 that they're due in.
Okay.
But obviously that's if they're on time. Which
and
means
they've got clearance.
Then you got to clear and you got to get off the ship and then you got to get to where you're going. Now, for a lot of people, they had sort of early-ish morning flights, 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and now can't get on them. And if they didn't book them through Silver Seas at the time, then as far as they're concerned, it's kind of...
No, I can't see that. They'll be compensated, I'm sure. I think they will.
Well, the story as it sits at the moment
I'm not
on the
that.
Facebook group where people are on the ship
I'm not having
are
that.
saying that they're not.
No,
now,
you can't do
if they're
that.
not, it seems deeply
I'm not having that.
sort of poor judgment
I'm having
to do that.
more Ouzo.
From our point of view, if that were happening to us, why did you have the Ouzo? When you're flying back to the UK, normally we have quite a late flight. It's sort of anywhere between 6 and 10 p.m.
We would appreciate that.
We'd have been quite happy with it. Obviously, I would have rather spent an extra 4 or 5 hours on a really fancy ship than in Miami Airport. It's much more of an attractive thing. But if I were going to miss my plane,
that's different.
I maybe wouldn't have found it quite as amusing.
No. Or relaxing.
Definitely not as relaxing. So yeah, when I said moan, I wasn't meaning that it wasn't without reason. It seemed I get them doing it, because how often are they going to have the 3 ships close enough to each other to get that sort of publicity shot? But that is all it is.
Okay. Can't AI do that nowadays?
Can't what?
AI do that.
They could do it probably with AI. They could do a composite where they piece them all together. I'm sure there'd have been other ways that they could have done it.
Well, it's quite trendy now. I'm not going down that way.
No, there's been some interesting news stories in the last 24 hours.
Yes, well, I like living in this country.
Yeah, what we'll learn is you probably shouldn't Photoshop. And for anyone listening to this again, that was Lindsay enjoying a taste of Ouzo.
My tongue is sparkling. I don't know what that means.
Well, it means that you keep going in for the Ouzo, even though every time you taste it, you go... Anyway, that brings us to the end of another podcast, Lindsay.
Well,
I know that you're desperate to get back in some more Ouzo.
I want drinking. I'm drinking.
Well, if you drink, you've got to drink. That's the rule.
Cheers. Thank you for listening.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, and have a lovely day.